going to talk about 5 dimensions of exercises to strengthen your core to prevent back pain. Let's get right into it. Number 1, traditional ab exercises. We're talking about the things that you probably already know. Endless crunches on the ground, the flutter kicks, the scissor kicks, all that stuff that you do for at least 200 reps before you start to feel anything. That's usually all you see people talking about when they talk about strengthen the core, the abs, to help with lower back pain. But there's so much more that goes into that, because basically the only reason you want to have a stronger core is because it stabilizes your spine. The stronger your core is, the more aligned your spine is going to be. But stabilizing the spine is much more than just doing flexion exercises like all the traditional core exercises that are preached about do. So number 2 thing that you want to do is functional activities. This is so underrated. If you're doing functional activities, you're using your core to stabilize your spine as it would actually perform in real life, which is where you have to stabilize your spine anyways. Very rarely are you on the ground and doing crunches and scissor kicks for 200 reps. So you have to train your body to stabilize the spine in ways that you naturally move. So what are examples of this? Examples of this is like doing a squat with weight, whether it's a front squat, a back squat, a kettlebell squat, a deadlift with any kind of weight, an overhead press with any kind of tool. The main point, guys, is that you're making sure that your spine does not go into a round banana back flexion or hyperextension. If you can keep that neutral spine as you're doing these functional activities, then your body is actually strengthening your core, which is much more than just the abs. It's all the muscles that surround your spinal column, including your glutes. Because here's a surprise, your pelvis is actually your core. Take that in for a second. It's not the abs, it's your pelvis. The abs attached to the pelvis is anything that stabilizes your spine. Okay? So you have to train the whole thing, not just the abs, which is why the functional activities do it so well. So that's number 2. Number 3 is single leg exercises. If you're able to stabilize your body with a single leg stance, like a lunge, then your body is going to have the stability it needs on one leg instead of with 2. So this really makes you feel very stable and coordinated. It's really about the coordination, because stability in the spine and the core, the deep core muscles, they have to be coordinated. They have to fire at the right time. That's what produces functional movement. It's not just strength, okay? It's coordination and timing, which is why the single leg exercises are so good at strengthening your core. So we're talking about a lunge, we're talking about like a warrior 2 pose where you're holding half a lunge, we're talking about a warrior 3 pose where your leg is actually up off the ground, we're talking about a step up. Basically anything that you're balancing on one leg and moving your torso up and down, doesn't even have to be with weight. Cool? So that's helpful because it's about the timing and coordination of the core. The previous exercises like the squats is about strength. Alright, let's move on. Number 4, we're talking about anti-rotation exercises. So this means that it's preventing motion. So an example for this is like a pull-off press, which is where you're holding onto a cable with extended arms and it's trying to pull you this way, but guess what you're doing? You're preventing motion, which requires you to squeeze from the ground all the way up. It's not just your abs, it's the obliques, it's the glutes, it's everything from the ground, including your calves, your hamstrings. You're preventing motion from happening. Now, I would also consider like a plank anti-rotation because it's isometric, but that's not so much rotation. Anything that you're resisting motion, that's going to be very powerful, and that's really underrated when it comes to producing a strong set of abs or strengthening your core to prevent that lower back pain. Now, in this section, I'll include rotational exercises, especially ones that you're standing, because very rarely are you on your butt and you're rotating in real life. So we're talking about like a wood chop with any tool, even if it's literally just with an axe, even shoveling, any twisting activities, really going to produce a powerful core. So the last one that we're going to talk about is quadruped stability. I call it pillar stability. Now, this is anything where, think about it, you're like a pillar. You're supporting some kind of weight. So whether you're on your hands and knees and you're doing Superman, whether you're supporting a huge yoke because you're doing some strongman training, whether you're doing planks in the front, side, or reverse position, you are basically bearing weight in gravity, and your core has to stabilize that, and that's very functional. Whether you're doing it standing, on your hands and knees, or in many different positions, I highly recommend doing all of these because you need all of them to have a strong core. So, as a review, number 1, we want to do traditional rectus abdominis crunching exercises. Number 2, we want to do the compound exercises that produce functional movement, the squats, the deadlifts, the overhead press. Number 3, we want to do unilateral exercises. Number 4, we want to do rotational or anti-rotational exercises. And number 5, we want to develop that pillar strength. Do these 5 and I guarantee you, you will have a core that's a lot stronger than before. Your lower back is going to feel a lot better. Work on your functional movements above anything. If you fix your functional movements, your core is stabilizing your body as it should. Thank you guys for watching. I'm John Van Dyne. I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, here's some bonus exercises. Now for working out your abs to prevent your back pain, I recommend doing it 3 times a week. You can do it before or after your workouts. Only take about 10 to 20 minutes. You don't really have to do a whole workout for it. And just improve over time. Add a little bit of reps or add a little bit of time. And I guarantee your back is going to start feeling a lot better. And above all, work on your functional movements. Get your body moving right in space. You'll look better. You'll feel better. You'll have less pain. All right, guys. Hope this helped. Let me know if you have any questions below. Thanks for watching.